Hi, year sevens. I see your maths teacher giving you some homework about maths, trying to study 8A by yourself and then do some exercise. I'll try to help you how you can understand this unit 8, chapter 8A about data. Let's try to understand what is data, what is classifying data, what are the types of data, everything step by step. What is data? When we say data, the first thought that comes to our mind is data means information. Fine, let's say data is information. But then there is variety of data. Example, let's say skin color or opinion about KGV or height of all the year 7 students or the number of students analyzed for various classes, or let's say the number of t-shirts each student has. So there can be variety of data. Let's try to understand further about it. Broadly, all the data that we are talking about can be classified into two big categories: quantitative data or a qualitative data. Some people call qualitative data also as categorical data. In your maths textbook, qualitative data is mentioned as categorical data. Let's understand what is quantitative data. Quantitative data are the data that are measurable. When I say measurable, it means you definitely have a number for it. Example, height of a student, weight of a student, number of students in Spanish class, or the number of pens each student has in his pen case. What is qualitative data? Now, these are the data that cannot be measured but they can be categorized. Now, when I say categorized, it means, let's say you go to a departmental store like Giordano or Bossini and you look for a t-shirt of your size, and you would see there are t-shirt size S, XS, L, XL, XLL. So each size is a category. Now you don't measure S means what and XL means what. They are defined by a label X, XL, XL, L, like that. Same way shoe size 35, 37, 38, or let's say category like you analyze year 7 students by nationality, or you want to analyze hair color of student. These days variety of hair colors we see on head. Now let's come to the core topic about the types of data. Little general understanding we have developed about data. Now let's try to analyze little further. Types of data, as I mentioned, quantitative and qualitative. Let's try to understand quantitative further, discrete and continuous. I will go in further detail about this discrete and continuous little later. On the other side, qualitative or categorical data can be either open or attribute data. Attribute data can be further classified as nominal or ordinal data, and both nominal and ordinal can be further classified as binary or non-binary each. At your year 7 level, the items highlighted in yellow are good enough for you to understand. The other categories are useful as you climb up the ladder in year 9 and year 10, or maybe even in your IB level. At your year 7 level, the broad categories highlighted in yellow are good enough for you to understand. Let's go step by step. First we tackle quantitative data. What is quantitative data? Quantitative data are the data that are based on counts. Counts are always integers. Integer means -2, -3, -1, any number. But understand, these numbers are not in decimal. They can be positive integer, they can be negative integer. Now sometimes students are able to easily think of a count which will give a positive count. Example, let's say number of t-shirts each student has, or number of pen each student has. Yes, somebody may have 3 pens, somebody may have 4 pen, likewise. What can be an example of a discrete data with negative integer value? The best example that comes to my mind is when I see in KGV school on Sunday in a cricket match for under 13 HKCA cricket match, they have a pair cricket where every time a student get out, he is awarded -5 run. Now it may so happen a boy may get out 3 times and he will score -15 run, and he does not score any run by bat. So the discrete data can be negative integer value also. His score will be -15. It is also a score. It is a discrete score. It is a discrete data. Minus does not mean it is not discrete data. Let's talk about continuous data. Continuous data are the data that are measurable. It can take any rational number value. It can be a positive or negative integer or a decimal also. Example, temperature of a student. Somebody, let's say we are in the winter season and school decides I want to check temperature of each student, and they check at foyer temperature for all the year 7. Somebody is 37.7, somebody is 37.4, somebody is 37, somebody is 38, and likewise height of students in meter. They want to analyze students height for year 7. Somebody may be 1.32, somebody may be 1.45 meter, somebody may be 2 meter. 2 meter too long, I think. Yeah, okay, fine, no problem. Somebody is tall. Weight of students, somebody may be 25.5 kilo, somebody may be 28 kilo, somebody may be 32 kilo. So the continuous data can also take negative values also. Little food for thought. Think of an example where continuous data can also take negative values. I leave this little thought in your head. Think of an example. Qualitative data. Two basic categories: open data and attribute. First, I talk about open data. Open data is data that can be analyzed numerically. I beg your pardon. Open data is data that cannot be analyzed numerically. Example, let's say you give a blank page to each year 7 and ask them to write 2 or 3 lines about KGV sports facility. Everybody will write their opinion. I can read opinion, I can understand opinion, but I cannot numerically organize it. Each one will have their own opinion. So it's a open data. Attribute, qualitative data. When the word attribute means feature, attribute about something. Let's say I take a bat, cricket bat. Heavy, not heavy, English willow, Kashmir willow, ordinary wood, whatever, right? So these are the attributes of a cricket bat. Same way, I can talk about attribute of year 7 students. Somebody may be American, somebody may be Chinese, somebody may be Indian, somebody may be Korean, Japanese. So nationality is also an attribute of student. Yes. Another example, t-shirt size. Small, medium, large, extra large. This is also attribute. Now try to understand how attribute data is a qualitative data and it is not quantitative. Let's take nominal data. Let's see nationality of student of KGV school. You survey how many Indians, Chinese, American, Korean, Japanese. Now let's say we come to conclusion, out of 270 KGV year 7 students, 35 are American, 40 are British, 60 are Indian, 60 are Chinese, and likewise. You have the data, you have analyzed data, but this data has no order. Let's say one boy say American 35, then Indian 60. Other boy may say Indian first 60 and then American 35. There is no restriction that you have to write American first and Indian next. Each student has free hand to write the order. They cannot change the data about each attribute, but how to put the order for the attribute is their choice. Student one can say American, then Chinese, then Indian. Student 2 can say Chinese and then American and then Indian. So that's why we call it as a nominal data. Nominal data has no order, whereas ordinal data has specific order. Let's say t-shirt size in Giordano: extra small, small, medium, large, extra large. Now it's a specific order generated by the design department of Giordano. That extra small means the smallest size, then comes small, then comes medium, then comes large. So as the size is changing, the new code is being given. I mentioned little while ago that both nominal and ordinal data can be further categorized as binary and non-binary. Now it is not important at your year 7 level, but it is also good to know, if you can take little extra step, what it means. I'll try to explain to you. Binary, in computer language, binary has some connection with 0, 1, 1, 0. So basically only two number code being chosen. So using this analogy, we say binary data are essentially data that have only two responses. Let's say yes or no, switch on, switch off, big, small. It has only two possibilities. Non-binary data are the data where there are more than two possibilities, like t-shirt size, small, medium, large, extra large, etc. Now you understand what is data, how it is categorized, what are the types of data. We have understood a little bit. Let's try to understand some key terms. When the entire population is surveyed, best example, all the year 7 students are surveyed, it is called population or census. But when only a part of the population is surveyed, let's say you randomly choose 5 students from each class, then it is called sample. Some more key terms. Primary source and secondary source, very simple. Let's try to understand. When somebody makes original attempt to gather some data and he is analyzing, the effort is analyzing the first hand information collected from original source. It's called primary data. We sometimes see there are some surveyors standing at the busy street junctions trying to count how many boys are crossing the road or how many old people are crossing the road. What are they doing? They just keep on pressing some button with a mechanical device in their hand. They are basically counting number of kids crossing the road between morning 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, like that. They will analyze and they will give their report to their department that okay, near Tinkong Road in the morning there are 500 boys crossing the road. Is there a need for a proper footbridge to cross the road, or it's okay to have a road without signal? This is first hand information. What is secondary data? Now secondary, the word secondary means it is second hand. That means data is already been published by somebody. Somebody made effort, he published. We are only using the published data for our purpose. Let's say I am a businessman, I want to start business of opening a petrol pump in Hong Kong. I will ask government of Hong Kong, can you tell me what is the yearly consumption of petrol in Hong Kong? Or I want to start milk business in Hong Kong, then I will ask Hong Kong government to give me data about milk consumption every year in Hong Kong. It will give me idea about how much milk is being used in Hong Kong. Can I be successful as a milk businessman or a petrol businessman? Now when I say secondary data, please understand, I did not collect the original data about the petrol consumption. Government already collected it. I only use the published data for my purpose. So it is called secondary data.